Hi, this is Sweet June 2010 coming back at you with another interesting video topic. This is on the heels of the other video I made talking about men being able to opt out of fatherhood. And I was saying that men can opt out of fatherhood. With that being said, why would you want to opt out of fatherhood? A real man does not opt out of fatherhood. A real man takes care of his kids, regardless of whether he's married or he's single. He takes care of his kids. A real man takes care of his children. A real man takes care of his responsibilities. That's what a real man does. Okay? So, yes, like I said in my other video, a man can opt out of being a father. My son's father did that. But is he a real man? No, he's not. I've talked to some other men about the situation. I've talked to men over the years about the situation. I've talked to real men about the situation. Real men that are taking care of their responsibilities. And they say, that's not being a man. I explain to them and I tell them about the situation. And the first thing that they say is, that's not being a man. He's not being a man. That's not being a man. Because a real man, because they understand that, because they're a real man and they're handling their responsibilities, they understand that a real man takes care of his children, regardless of whether he's married to the mother or not. In a lot of cases, they're not married to the mother. But a real man takes care of his responsibilities. He doesn't try to opt out of fatherhood. He doesn't tell the woman to get an abortion. He doesn't tell the woman to put the child up for adoption. He doesn't kill the woman if she doesn't have an abortion. Okay. He doesn't take the baby out. He stands up and he takes care of his responsibilities. He understands that he took part in making the child, that he was 50% responsible for making that child. And he understands that. And because he understands that, as a man, he's taking responsibility. Okay? A real man doesn't opt out of being a father. Okay? Let's get that clear. Let's make that clear. A real man doesn't opt out of being a father. A real man stands up and he owns up to his responsibilities. I've told the story in some of my other videos about my son. My oldest son. I didn't find out about my granddaughter until she was 2 years old. And when he took the DNA test, it come to find out he was the father. And I told him, the first thing I said is, well, it's time for you to man up, man. Time for you to man up and take responsibility. Now that you know that this is your child, it's time for you to man up and take responsibility. Time for you to do the right thing and stand up and man up and take responsibility. And that's exactly what he did. It's a little hot in here. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry, I had to readjust my fan. I'm burning up. And that's exactly what he did. He took care of his responsibilities. He didn't opt out of being a father. Because I told him, even as I was raising him, I told him, if you ever have some kids out there, you could better man up and take care of them, because I'm not raising any deadbeats. I told both of my sons that I'm not raising any deadbeats, and you're not walking out on my grandkids. I want to know my grandkids, every last one of them. And you're not walking out on them. I'm not raising a deadbeat. You're going to man up and you're going to take responsibilities. And that's exactly what he did. And he's paying child support. He's not crying and moaning and groaning about paying child support like a little boy. And he also does things for his daughter in addition to paying the child support. He pays his child support. And he does things in addition to paying the child support. If my granddaughter needs a coat, he buys her a coat. He buys her things for her birthday. If she needs anything for my granddaughter, he buys it. He buys her shoes if she needs it. He buys her clothes on top of the child support. Okay, so that's my son, and I'm real proud of him. I am real proud of him for standing up, and he spends time with her. You know, he works a lot, so he gets her whenever he can. And he's working with the mother. He loves his daughter. And I'm real proud of my son. I honestly can say that I am so proud of my son for stepping up to the plate and owning up to his responsibilities. Taking care of my granddaughter. Anything that she needs, he's right there. On top of the child support. And he doesn't cry and complain like a little boy about paying child support. That's a real man. A real man doesn't bellyache about paying child support. A real man just does what they have to do as a man. A real man does not opt out of being a father. If you get mad because your baby mama or ex-girlfriend or whatever that is file child support and you get mad at her, are you a real man? So she's supposed to just raise a child by herself and you shouldn't have any financial responsibility to that child? If you get mad at other women, this is a new trend going on. Like, all men seem to be sticking together on that. It's like they get mad at women for filing child support. Where did you read that it wasn't your responsibility to take care of the child? Where did you read that at? Where did you read that it was only the woman's responsibility to take care of the child? Where did you read that at? It's not just the woman's responsibility to take care of the child. It's both parents' responsibility. It's the woman's responsibility and it's the man's responsibility. Let's be clear. Because it took two people to make that child. It's a no-brainer. It takes two people to make a baby. A woman cannot make a child by herself. It takes two people to make a child. Okay? So it's both people's responsibility to take care of the child. A real woman, same goes for a woman. A real woman takes care of her child. A real woman does not try to opt out of being a mother. A real woman does not get an abortion because that's murder. A real woman does not give the child for adoption. A real woman does not put the child off on her family members to raise. A real woman takes care of her child. Okay? Now, you know, some of these guys like to get on YouTube and talk about how black women have children out of wedlock and all this stuff, and you know, talked about the 70% supposedly, allegedly, the 70% out of wedlock rate or whatever, allegedly. Not stopping to think that Well, what does that tell you? Why is there 70% of women taking care of the kids? Why is that? 70% of the, well, they say head of household, but I actually did another video breaking that down. They said 70% of women, black women, and head of household. That could be a single black woman with no children. That could be an elderly black woman. They're throwing all the same situations in one demographic. So out of the 70%, how many of those are single mothers? See, people just take a stat and they just run with it without taking time to really break it down and really think about what the stat means. But anyway, black men talk about, and that's one of the things that they like to bash us about, us having kids out of wedlock and all this stuff. But who's taking care of the children? Is there a higher percentage of black women single parents or a higher percentage of black men single parents? Why are the women the only ones that's taking care of the children? Where's the fathers? Why aren't the fathers sharing in that responsibility? Okay, why are the women in head of the household? Where's the men at? Where's the real man? Because see, a real man takes care of his family. A real man takes care of his family. A real man takes care of his seed. A real man takes care of his children. A real man does not put all the blame and responsibility, goes out, has sex with a woman, gets her pregnant, and say it's all her fault. And it's just her responsibility. And she shouldn't file child support on him. And it's just solely her responsibility to take care of the child. Well, is that being a real man? No, that's not a real man. A real man mans up and he takes care of his child. And he doesn't opt out of being a father. And the fact that Tommy Sotomayor even has to make a video talking about that, or a live chat or whatever he did, that speaks volumes. Because a real man does not opt out of being a father. A real man takes care of his children, not just one or two. He doesn't show favoritism and takes care of one or two. He takes care of all the children that he helped produce. Let me repeat that. He takes care of all, a real man takes care of all the children that he helped produce. Not one, not two, but all of them. He doesn't show favoritism and just take care of certain ones. Oh, well, I was in a relationship with her baby mama, or whatever the situation. Well, I was married to this baby mama, so I'm going to be there for them kids. What kind of mess is that? Well, that's not being a real man. A real man takes care of all his children. A real man doesn't cry and bellyache and moan about paying child support. A real man doesn't get mad at a woman for filing child support. A real man does, if he doesn't want child support put on him, then he does whatever he can to help that woman with that child. The reality is if you're not married to a woman and you have a baby by a woman, then 9 times out of 10 you will be put on child support. If you're not married to the woman. That's just the way it goes. And my son pays child support, and he doesn't cry and bellyache and moan about it. He just do what he has to do for his daughter. And he helps with his daughter in addition, on top of the child support. That's the way I raised him. I didn't raise no deadbeats. That's what a real man does. He takes care of his responsibility. He doesn't walk out on his children and say, oh, it's all her fault. I told her to get an abortion. What kind of mess is that? Must be a pretty black-hearted person to want a woman to take an innocent child's life. Must be a pretty black-hearted person to want a woman to kill a baby. Because I don't care what anybody says. Abortion is murder, plain and simple. The Bible says at the time of the conception, the Bible says Jehovah God said, I knew you. I knew you from the beginning. He knew you when you were seed. Okay, which means that life begins at conception. Most women don't find out they're pregnant until their second or third month along. By that time, the baby's got arms, legs, the baby's got nerves, the baby can feel pain. And most women don't decide to get an abortion until around the fourth month on average. By that time, the child has nerves, neurons, and everything, and the child can feel pain. So you must be a pretty black-hearted person to want a woman to take an innocent child's life. And don't think that you will not be held accountable, because you will be. Because the Bible says you reapeth what you soweth. And a real man doesn't kill the woman, and he doesn't kill the baby. That's stupid anyway, because all you're going to do is go to prison. Look in the mirror, you're a black man. Because that's who's doing, the black men are doing that. They're taking, I'm hearing new cases of them killing the women because they didn't want her to have the baby. What kind of mess is that? Then try not going to bed with her in the first place. Why did you sleep with her? Why did you have unprotected sex with her if you did not want a child? Why didn't you use a condom? There's no excuse. I'm a firm believer in personal responsibility. Every adult on the face of the earth needs to take responsibility for their own body. And there is condoms, or try not sleeping with a woman that you're not married to. I don't feel sorry for a man that sleeps with a woman and he's not married to her and he gets her pregnant. I don't feel sorry for him, because you didn't have no business messing with her in the first place. So I just want to make that very clear. A real man does not opt out of fatherhood. A real man takes care of his responsibilities, and a real man takes care of his children, all of his children, not just some, but all of them. A real man doesn't get mad at a woman for filing child support on another man. A real man doesn't do that. Okay, a real man takes care, because at the end of the day, the child support is about the child. It's for the child. Okay. In the state of Michigan, where I'm from, women don't, 9 times out of 10, the women don't even file the child support. The state does. The state files the child support. If the woman goes down to get any type of assistance, she is required by law to file child support. So the state of Michigan files the child support, not the woman. Because they figure if they got to drop some food stamps and Medicaid and all that, the man that helped her make that baby gonna drop dime. Okay, that ain't no more than right. That's no more than right. That's the taxpayers' money. So I don't know how it is in other states, but that's how it is in the state of Michigan. So we clear. A real man takes care of his children, and he doesn't bellyache and cry and complain about it like a little old boy. Because I'm just really getting sick of that. And these men coming on YouTube getting mad at women for filing child support. What is that? What is that? Never seen so many deadbeats in my whole life. A real man takes care of his family that he helps make. That's what a real man does. Plain and simple. Now, if you get mad at me and want to call me some ugly names or whatever, well, if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, then why you getting mad? Sweet June 2010. Peace and love.